Welcome to the Better Health Podcast, hosted by Dis-Chem. On this episode about fitness, Jaco de Bruyn and Mapule Ndhlovu dive into the benefits of exercise.
Hey guys, welcome to the Better Health Podcast, hosted by Dis-Chem.
Today, we're releasing the power of fitness. How are you, Mapule?
I'm excellent, and how are you?
Thank you.
We're going to be talking about our favorite
Yes,
conversation.
fitness, nutrition.
My name is Mapule Ndhlovu, also known as Queen Fitness.
It's a nice name. Suits you.
Thank you. I was born and raised in Alex, and how I got into fitness, sure, it's one of those things where I needed an emotional release, and I was going through a space in my life where there was so much confusion. I didn't know what to do with my life, and at the back end, I've always known that I wanted to be an inspiration, and I would just run just to clear my mind, have a conversation with myself, and really think deep and just say, what is it that I want to do? Because I know I want to inspire, but I don't know exactly what I want to do. I've never been around people that really I looked at and I'm like, this is what I want to do. And 2012, on the 10th of March, which was on my birthday, I joined the group exercise in Alex. So I went just on a Saturday. They had the institute coming to visit the gym.
How old were you then, Mapule?
I was 22.
Okay.
I was 22. And then they asked if I wanted to study fitness. Actually, they didn't ask me. They asked the owner. They were asking about me. That's how I actually got into fitness. Just from that, I started and I never stopped. So,
well, you look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
And I can see that you really love your fitness. And the same for me. Like for me, my name is Jaco. I've been in the fitness industry for almost 15 years now.
Hectic.
For me, my journey was more than I've been a skinny kid my entire life, and I always had this picture in my head. When you go with your parents to the shop, the C&A back then, you see all these fitness mags on the shelves, and I was like,
oh, so you had that moment also.
Yeah, it's like I want to be that person. I want to look like that, and my dream was to always be on the cover of a magazine.
Quick question: were you teased when you were young because you were skinny?
Yeah, I think it was just a mental thing for myself.
Okay, personal thing. Yeah,
a late bloomer, I would say.
Okay,
but it just it definitely bothered me that I was eating, I didn't grow, I didn't understand how the human body works. Yeah. But so long story short, went into modeling. I did extremely well in modeling.
Okay.
It was after seeing this picture of being this inspiration and cover model, I knew that I had to obviously train and set myself goals to get there. Did very well in modeling. I did Mr. Pretoria won, did Mr. South Africa, went to Mr. World. So that's where the training started for me, because I knew I'm always in front of camera. I need to look good and feel good and be confident. And training was the only thing that really helped me to get there. My dream back then was to be on the Men's Health cover, which I really worked hard for, trained extremely hard. I've won all of these modeling shows in South Africa. And eventually, when I had the opportunity to be on that cover, they told me that I was too big, too muscular. So that was my transition from modeling to fitness modeling. And I still had that goal to be on front covers. So
it will be.
Today, I've done almost about 7 front covers all around the world.
Amazing.
Yeah, so did really well in fitness modeling. My career excelled internationally. Top 5 in the world for 7 years at WBFF.
Nice.
Always third, fourth, fifth, never won. But yeah, I think top 5 is a great achievement. So yeah, fitness is a big part of my life. I love training. I love nutrition, dieting, food. I think you can
dieting.
relate. Yeah. But because I was given this opportunity, I really wanted to create that platform for people around me as well. I think that, and you can probably relate to that, I think everybody wants to look good. If you're in a conversation, people always talk about food. People always talk about dieting and what to eat and what not to eat. But I think the lack of knowledge is probably the biggest thing. Understanding what works for you as a person.
A lot of people struggle with so many different things. I've always gotten compliments that I looked good. But for me, I was in a place from my upbringing. So I moved quite a lot. I've been to so many different schools and I've lived with so many different people. So that affected my mind and how I looked at myself and how I looked at life. And there was so much confusion. As much as the fitness would be about how one looks, for me, it was purely my mind that was not in a good state. And that's when the running happened. The running was just for me to clear my mind, have an emotional release, to really cry and let it go and be like, surely there's more to life than just me chilling and not doing anything with my life. When I started running and I started being active, I realized there were so many benefits that I was getting out of being active. And to me, I'm like, if only I could bottle this feeling of how I feel after I work out and what it has done for me and just give it to everyone. I think each and every person would want to be active, you know. I think better, I feel good, I feel confident. Can you imagine that I still had compliments, but I didn't feel good? So it's really a personal thing. It's about, it's a mental thing.
100%.
There's a switch that changes as soon as you get into the lifestyle. You start seeing things differently. You start seeing yourself differently. And like you said, with modeling, if you were not confident, it's not even about how you looked. You walk into the room and there's so many amazing looking people,
100%.
and that one that will stand out is the one that is more confident. You know what I mean?
I think it's also, people look at you and they think that it's, I'm talking for myself now, like it's also not achievable. And I think that's where I really wanted to step in and tell people that, it takes time to commit to wanting that body that you want. It takes time to understand the value of food in a person's life. And just having that confidence to actually go and train, because I feel a lot of people, and you can see it in gyms, people, they don't really know what to do and they don't know where to start. And that for me was where I wanted to help and help people to achieve, which everybody can do. It's just the lack of knowledge on how to do it, and just take them by the hand and say, this is easy. It's just, you need to be consistent and you need to,
talking about consistency. Eish, my favorite word, actually. Everyone that comes to me, I'm like, the only thing that you need to do is just show up for yourself. I'm not asking for too much, because I need to, the nice thing is the principles of fitness, you can use them in any aspect of your life. It's a typical example of consistency. It's consistency at home, it's consistency at work, it's consistency in your relationships, in your partnerships.
And being healthy. I feel like if you don't train, it takes a lot of your attention away from things that stresses people out in life, and especially in the world that we live in today. After COVID, I think a lot of things has changed, and a lot of people has fallen into a trap where, how do I get out of what happened for 3 years in your life consistently? And we forget 3 years was a long time, we look back now and it feels like ages ago, but I think helping people now to understand that fitness and health and training adds so much benefit for you to break away from anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, all of those things that plays a huge role in everybody's life. Not everybody always talks about it, but for me, not going to the gym is definitely a bad start to my day. I have to, it's a big part of it, and it really helps me to stay positive and focusing on, my businesses and the people that I also try to help.
You see, the very same thing I was saying about the principles, being able to use them in the other aspects of your life. And also another thing is, I always tell everyone that the body is just the cherry on top. The other benefits that we really don't talk about is we're in a world with so many chronic illnesses. Typical example, exercise is the best medicine for depression. There's the cheapest even. There's diabetes, there's obesity, there's so many things that it's not always emphasized how important it is to be active so that we can prevent those things. Because you can still look good and have and your cholesterol is high. You know what I mean? Just because you look good doesn't mean you're the healthiest person.
But I feel like that's where the nutrition plays a huge role, because if you speak to the average person, they wouldn't really understand calories and what they're eating.
The macros.
And what is right and what is wrong. From my world that I come from, people think broccoli, rice, and chicken is the only way to get to that. And it's hard because it works, but is it sustainable? That's why
It's very important.
That's why the word diet puts people off so badly, because they always look at fitness athletes and bodybuilders and think that that is not achievable because they know what they have to go through to get there with, dry and boring, monotonous food.
Because whatever you eat, often that becomes your diet. Doesn't mean that when you're eating broccoli and chicken, you are dieting every single day. That aligns you to a certain type of eating habits. It's either you're a person who is eating healthy, meaning you're on a healthy diet, or you're a person who's not eating healthy, meaning you're on a bad diet. Regardless of what it is, it's just the word diet is every single day what you
I think everybody thinks that it's what you need to do to lose weight, but you're 100% right. Like, diet is just a general word of what are you doing throughout the day to get your calories in, and how healthy are those calories, to be honest. So
even when people, there's so much information on, like, we have social media, Google, there's so much out there. The knowledge is there. The only problem is the practical of it. Knowing what to eat it's easier. You know what to eat, but are you eating it? Are you doing what you're supposed to do to align you towards your goal? Are you following the right eating habits? And I'm an advocate of understanding how to just holistically eat for your skin, eat for your brain function, eat for not just the muscle, because a lot of the times people focus too much on the muscle. They forget the other important part where you see this person is looking good, but they're moody, they're tired.
Energy.
You have taken away from the functional part. You're not functional, and the importance of eating healthy and being active is to generate more energy and make you more functional and make you more productive. And people don't always emphasize that. Yeah. It's all about how I look. I mean, you could look good, but do you feel good? You know what I mean? Are you productive? Are you functioning? Is your sex life good? Are your friendships good? Are you productive at work? Are you thinking on the spot? Are you creative? Because those things get affected if you're not eating healthy. Sleeping patterns are bad because sometimes the diet can do that, and not being active can do that.
Not getting the right amount of calories also, where people intend to starve themselves when it comes to eating a clean diet. Then you might not have enough calories to sustain you throughout the day. Then that's where the lack of motivation also comes into go train. For example, what would your daily diet be like?
You see, it depends on which phase I'm at. If I'm trying to get smaller or pick up a little bit of weight,
muscle.
Okay, I'll say muscle. Hey. There's a weight. Well, for the gains, when I'm saying gain weight, I'm talking about the gains. I pretty much eat the same things. I'll just only maybe add an extra meal. So my typical diet would be first thing in the morning, I have coffee. I have coffee all the time. I use it for, obviously, to...
So that's where you get your energy from?
Yes, exactly. That's where I get my energy from, because I don't really use supplements. And then I would have my oats, or I'd have like my old brand, or I'll just have scrambled eggs and evo and just toasted bread. What I actually really enjoy is the veggies and quinoa and chicken. I like to have the same. I rarely eat red meat. I love fish and chicken. My dinner would be a wrap. So it's very simple. I'll just alternate it.
But
I can
always
literally
clean,
have
healthy.
oats at night. I'm that person. If I feel like I need more energy, because I know tomorrow I'm about to do legs,
Yes.
so I'll load on the day before. And then on the days when I know that I'm not too active, I will eat less. I'm not going to eat too much because I know on this day I'm not trying to burn a lot of calories. Depends on the activity that I will be doing. Maybe I'm just dancing on that day. On some other days, it's because if I'm going to do like heavy leg session, that's when I would add more. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the same. Like I like to keep it simple because I also know how my body works and what works for me. So my protein sources are always between, always chicken and red meat. Fish I'll only really bring in when I'm competing or really want to get into a leaner physique.
Yeah.
But I love red meat, so I really feel that it works for me and it keeps me full.
I find it makes me bloated.
Yeah, I think it's also my blood type, so red meat really works well for me. Obviously, that's also very important. Like if you can find out what blood type you are, these things really adds a lot of value on knowing what route you need to take on getting the best results when it comes to choosing and working out your diet.
And paying attention, sorry to cut you that, and paying attention to how your body responds after you eat a certain type of food. Like, I absolutely love yogurt, but I know my system doesn't enjoy that. So
dairy products.
Yes, dairy product is like touch and go. I'm not saying I should. I'm one of those people. I'm like, I know I shouldn't be having it, but it's not something that I'll have it all the time. Once in a while, then I will have it because I know it doesn't sit well. And sometimes people don't understand, why am I always bloated? It's because something in your diet it's not right with your system, because what works for me might not work for you. Like I said, red meat for me doesn't work, but it's amazing for you, you know. So one needs to pay attention to what they eat and what works for them.
Yeah.
Remember, the training, people train for different reasons. Sometimes you go to the gym, you look at someone, you're like, why aren't their body changing? And if you were to really have a conversation with that person, they're only training for their mind. It really makes them feel good. It really makes them productive. Personally, I was in a place, like I said to you, I've always wanted to be an inspiration. And the more I started training, it just made it easier for me to have conversations with people and inspire them to be more active. I used to hate my body, but I love it now because it's a conversation starter. It's like one of those things where people see me like, hey, you exercise. And then now I can help. I don't have to change a lot of people's lives, but one person that I can teach every day will pass on the messages to other people that they will have conversations with on the importance, obviously, of eating healthy and being active. It sounds simple, but it's not as easy because the doing is the hard part. And think about the fact that you were saying a lot of people, once they start exercising and they feel they need to recover, they need to rest because their body is sore. Once you break that wall, I always tell them, once you break that
once
wall,
the results come,
nothing can stop you. You know what I mean?
Any person, like I've got a lady that I've trained, and she showed me she showed me a picture when she joined me, and I don't even remember her as that person when I started training her for the first time. And a year later, she's completely different. But once you see the results, that is when you don't want to stop. And that's what's so addictive.
Yeah.
And that's what I love and would do for the rest of my life. I wouldn't maybe be as driven to be a competitive athlete and step on a stage, but the lifestyle is what I'm addicted to now, I still like to have a drink now and again and my red wine and, enjoying a life and having a balanced lifestyle because that is possible. And people also need to understand that you can't just not live and be on this strict diet and following the rules like 100% to get into the best shape of your life, because it's all about balance. If you can balance, my rule is if you're super disciplined with yourself from a Monday to a Friday, then let go a little bit on the weekend. You deserve it, because it can become very consuming, selfish. especially in my industry, if you really just focus on getting into good shape and looking your best at all time, it's you forget about the people around you. So I think it's really important to understand that balance is key.
Yeah. And another thing is the shift also with me happened when I wanted to just become a better version of myself, because we have a tendency of comparing ourselves with other people, whether it's aesthetic-wise or is work or just material things. And with that, I always advise the people I'm around or the friends or someone who'll be showing me a picture or a video of someone else. I'm like, or saying they want to look like me. I'm like, no, my love, you don't want to look like me. You want to look like the better version of yourself. At the end of the day, you must understand our frames, our shapes are different. We will look good in different ways. And looking good to you, if you look at me and you think I look good, someone else might look at me and not think the same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So you always have to understand that you won't look good for everyone.
Yeah, I'm still guilty of that, but now I've changed my mindset. I'm obviously way more mature than I was 10 years ago. Now I draw my motivation from that, because a lot of people would ask you, like, who inspires you? And now it's not who, it's what people do. So I look at somebody that's really been obese and lost so much weight. That inspires me, because I know the journey and I know what it took that person to get there. Or it could be a youngster that's 90 years old that's competing for the first time and he's won his first show. That inspires me. So that's where I draw my inspiration of. And that's why I really always want to add value and give back when it comes to what I do and what my passion is. As everybody, like you said, has got different goals and, different routes that I want to go in the fitness industry. Some people just want to look good and feel good. Yeah. And that's why I started.
There's a fine line between looking good and feeling good, because you could look good and still not feel good.
True.
The funny thing is, when you work with a lot of people, there's people who have done surgery and they still don't feel good, because when you have a conversation with them, you realize it's more mental
than it
is physical.
Yeah,
because you have done your tummy, you have done your bum, you still come to MEPS and say, yeah, fix this, fix that.
Now that they haven't done, they don't know how to diet, they don't know how to train right. People always looked up to me as a competitive athlete. I've trained a majority of my people to compete. But as I got older, I realized that I've cut out a massive market with just normal average Joe that wants to look and feel good. Yeah. So I started the dadbod movement, focusing on any guy that feels like he's got a dadbod, and not necessarily somebody that wants to step on stage and get super ripped and be this superhero figure. I wanted to put my focus now on men that really just wants to feel comfortable, and understanding that, that you don't have to look like me to live a healthier lifestyle, but you can still follow good diets and good training methods. Now, the dadbod movement has really taken off, and I've launched it last year. Nice. On New Year's, for that New Year's resolutions. And I think so everybody was like, I need to be in good shape. 2023 is going to be the year.
Yeah.
And it did so well for me. Like I had so many dads, and not just dads, just, I think the youngest was 19, but he felt like he wasn't a dadbod. But the majority of my clients were just corporate men and dads that really live a busy, hectic schedule, corporate lives. They don't really have time to go to the gym. And some of them got the most incredible results by not even going to the gym and just changing their diet and getting the knowledge on how to eat right on a daily basis. People need to understand that, there's little things that you need to change in your life to look and feel good and lose weight.
Hey, they lose weight. There's people who even struggle to gain weight. Anorexia is a really serious issue where people really, because they don't feel good. Someone looks at them, because they're skinny, they assume that they feel good. You're like, you look good. This person is really not, they don't feel good and they're unhealthy. which is another part that we really also have to educate people on.
Yeah, that's a different. It's
a different
It's
story.
a body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
And I think this plays a huge turning point for a lot of people when they actually realize that, where the problem is coming from. And myself, being there, getting a body that I always wanted really started consuming me, because my focus was just on getting bigger and building more muscle. I was on a talk show where this lady asked me, do you think you have a problem when it comes to, just building muscle? And it's called muscle dysmorphia, like just wanted to be bigger. And I realized that, and that actually was a turning point for me to know that, my goals on what I want to achieve is not necessarily balancing at that stage of my life, because I had this picture and I just wanted to be this version and building more muscle, but I didn't have a balanced lifestyle and I didn't really understand why I was doing what I do.
I felt like I was not represented. I would go to the shops and I see all these magazines, and
You were on Women's Health, right?
I've been in 3 covers of Women's Health.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I like I said, I felt like I was not represented. And also another thing that I saw was, you see this person on a cover of a magazine, you get to meet them in real life, you realize like you don't live and look like yourself on the cover. Like, I don't want that. I want to be who I say I am.
Yeah,
you know what I
living the
mean?
life.
Yeah, and that was also another motivation for me to just keep doing what I do. And for the fact that I kept exercising, I kept staying true to who I am, I kept being disciplined and really aligning myself towards what I desired and I wanted to achieve. That even, in 2 weeks I'll be traveling to go train people in Kenya, and then in 3 weeks I'm in Nigeria. So it has opened doors to a point where I get to inspire people from all over the world now.
Anything is possible once you put your mind to it. I always say, if there's something that you think about and you consistently, repetitively do it over and over and over again,
It comes.
the result is going to come. And
Whether good or bad.
Whether good or bad.
So people must understand,
Yeah.
if you think bad, you're bound to get.
100%.
If you think positive or do things that are positive, that align you to the right direction, that's where you're definitely heading.
Yeah.
So the principle, like I said, the principles are the same. It's the consistency, it's the discipline, the repetition, and just pushing, and just believing that you are getting there, then focusing your mind on the goal, not the obstacle right now, because
There's
that's
always
what.
gonna be obstacles.
Yes, that's
always
what
gonna be
happened
obstacles.
with me. So what had happened was, after I became a fitness instructor, I had another bigger goal. I didn't want to just be a fitness instructor. I wanted to be a personal trainer. I wanted to be on the covers of magazine. I wanted to inspire more. But the position where I was, it was definitely not going to align me to where I was going. I needed to study personal training. So I would, because I wasn't earning a lot of money, I would start running. Remember, the running change got me to a point where the mental switch happened, and it played another big role in my life later on, where I started running to save money. Like, I would literally take my backpack at 3 a.m. and run to work, get there, work, do what I gotta do so I can save up money to continue my studies. And someone will look at it and be like, you're crazy, it's 3 a.m., it's unsafe. But remember, the obstacle shouldn't be bigger than the goal.
Yeah, for
Your goal is bigger. If your goal is to have that body, now choosing not to eat this, it shouldn't derail you from where you're trying to go. You must always remember that I have to do the things that will align me to the bigger picture, to the goal, So, yeah.
You can be very proud of yourself about that.
Now I run by choice. Not because I'm forced.
That's a good start. Everybody must know.
Yeah.
But listen, you talk about running, right? So I've mentioned that I've always been a skinny kid, but the sport that I was extremely well was running. So I was a long distance runner in high school, and that's all I did because my dad was a runner, and he's done the Comrades 14 times, and his best was 72 out of I think like 13,000 people. But my dad forced me to run, and that's all I did my entire high school career, and I was unbeatable in the 1,500 in my entire high school career.
Oh, nice.
Then I went to essays after matric, and I represented South Africa, and I came last. And that was the last time I've ever run in my life.
Like, it's not for me. Funny enough, I didn't play sports in school.
Yeah, so I did a lot of sport, but
I didn't.
yeah, I just didn't like being that skinny kid, and I think that's where my passion for lifting weights and training and building muscle came from. But yeah, I know the running thing. It was a big part of my life.
So talking about starting now, we're going to move to my friend, Zakira Khalik, who is an industrial psychologist and gym owner. Oof. And she does CrossFit also. I mean, she's a fitness coach. What an amazing person. So she's going to be...
a powerful woman.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Very inspiring. So she's going to be giving us tips on how to get started.
Hey, Maps and Jaco, thank you so much for that talk. I'm truly moved and inspired. As Maps mentioned, I am a fitness coach, industrial psychologist, gym owner, and CrossFit athlete. And today, I just want to share some tips with you all. Hopefully, this will help you guys, especially if you are new to your journey with fitness. And the first thing I want to mention, guys, is that training can be daunting, especially if you haven't trained before. We scroll social media all the time. We see all these athletes going crazy, whether they are your friends or whether they are people you just know. And I just want to advise everyone that training is a marathon, okay? If you are starting out, don't go too hard. Small, gentle steps. So this is what you should do from my perspective. If you are new to fitness, start out twice a week. Twice a week, a minimum of 20 minutes. And that is just taking a brisk walk around your block, going to a field, walking around the field, or even walking on a treadmill. After your body acclimatizes to the stress that training is putting onto your body, and as well as acclimatizing to the routine of training, then you can increase another session and increase your volume and intensity of training. Again, you are going to move gently into this. So increasing another session, making it 3 times a week, or increasing the time that you spend in the gym or spend training, maybe that's 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, but go slowly, guys. Another tip I want to give you is when you look at nutrition, it does not have to be boring broccoli and chicken, as Jaco mentioned in the talk. Nutrition can be delicious, okay? You can eat whatever you want, but if you are on a weight loss journey, this affects the portion sizes as well as your calories that you're going to eat every day. So if you are on a weight loss journey and you're eating 1,300 calories, obviously you're going to have less carbs, less protein, because you are in a restrictive calorie diet, okay? If you are on a journey to gain weight, like I am, so I'm currently eating 2,500 calories a day, then obviously your portion sizes are a lot more. This is also difficult. A lot of people don't realize that, but eating more can also be very difficult because of the amount of food that you have to eat per day. So again, create and cook delicious foods. You can use your spices. You can add that chocolate to your meal plan. Just add it to your calories per day.